Alright guys, so we're going to get started on our web dev environment so that we can create our Laravel projects. So we're going to install something called Xampp, also pronounced Xampp, which gives us an Apache server, MySQL, and PHP. And this is completely cross-platform. You can use this with Windows, Linux, or Mac. Alright, so you want to go to apachefriends.org. And I'm going to go down here because I want the version with PHP 7. If we go by these buttons here, it'll install PHP 5.6. So I'm going to click this download button. And if we look over here, you'll see we want this right here, the latest version. So I'm going to click download 32-bit. And I already have it downloaded. Or no, I don't. That's the wrong one. So ignore this one. Alright, so this is 120 megabytes, so it may take a minute depending on your connection. Alright, so that's all set. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And we'll say yes. And it's just going to give us a very basic installer. And you may get this warning about user access control, but just click OK. I've never had an issue with that. And then we're just going to go through this, click next. Now here you can pick and choose what you want to install. I'm just going to leave everything as is and click next. And then the folder by default will be, if you're in Windows, it'll be in your C drive and then Xampp. So I'm going to click next. And I'm going to uncheck this Bitnami thing and click next. And that's going to go ahead and install. Alright, so that took quite a while. Now it's going to ask for the firewall if we want to accept. We're going to say allow access. And then that should finish up. Alright, so it's asking if we want to start the control panel now. And I'm going to uncheck that. Okay, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's click finish. And now we're going to go and find Xampp. Whoops. So here it is, Xampp control panel, and I'm going to right click and then run as administrator. Okay, make sure you do that. And we'll say yes. Okay, I'm just going to save English. Okay, now it should start up. There it is. So the reason that we had to run it as administrators is because we want to install Apache and MySQL as a service, meaning that it's going to run in the background. Okay, so to do that, we just need to click these red X's. Okay, so we'll say yes, and then for MySQL, we'll say yes, and now they're running as a service. Okay, actually, we need to start them up here. So let's go ahead and click Start for Apache, and we'll click Start for MySQL. Alright, and then that should be set up. We should have our server. Alright, and if we were to go to localhost, and you can see it brings us to the Xampp dashboard, which really doesn't let us do much. It's just kind of like an intro to Xampp. So what I want to do now is go to phpMyAdmin, which is basically a GUI interface to work with our databases, our MySQL databases. So let's go to localhost / phpMyAdmin, and by default there's no password for the root user, so we're just able to do stuff, but we do want to add a password. So what I'm going to do is go to user accounts, and we want the one that says root and localhost, and let's go ahead and edit privileges and then change password, and we're going to put in here a password. I'm just going to do 1 through 6. Okay, and we'll say go, and now, whoop, passwords aren't the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go. Okay, so it was changed. Now if I go and click database, you'll see we get all these error messages. Basically, we need to put our password into one of the config files. So we're going to go to C drive and go to Xampp, and then let's see, phpMyAdmin, and then we want to go to the config file, which is this right here, configinc.php, and I'm going to open that up. Oh geez, I don't even have a code editor on this system yet, so I'm just going to open it with Notepad. Oh, what a mess. But what you want to do is look for, wow, can we wrap this? Still not much better. Let's see, password right here. So if you're viewing this with like Sublime Text or a real code editor, it should be a lot neater. But you can see user equals root, password equals nothing. So we're just going to put in the password there. Okay, and save that. And then we'll close it up and go back and reload. And now it works. Okay, so now you have a root user with the password, whatever you put. Mine's 1 through 6. All right, and they just give you some sample databases here to look at. This one is actually empty, but we don't need any of that. We don't need to really look at any of this. If you don't have experience with PHPMyAdmin, that's fine. It's going to be really easy. It's just a simple GUI tool. It's much easier than using the command line. So we will be using this for some stuff, but most of our database actions are going to go through Laravel migrations. So we're not going to need to do much here. Aside from look at the tables and the fields that we have and stuff. All right, so that's it for this video. We now have our development environment set up. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can start to install Laravel.